Is today the day that Kemi Badenoch started giving Nigel Farage a run for his money? Here is what the Tory party say they now stand for.
Stamp duty is a bad tax. It is an unconservative tax. The next Conservative government will abolish stamp duty on your home.
Stamp duty, gone.
On Sunday, I announced our plan to take the UK out of the ECHR, to scrap the Human Rights Act, to deport 150,000 illegal immigrants. This is a plan, not a slogan.
ECHR, gone, and she'll deport 150,000 people a year.
To fix our country, we must reverse Labour's measures. We will cancel their vindictive tax on education.
20% VAT hike on private school fees, gone.
Industrial action has kept waiting lists high for far too long. Enough is enough. We will ban doctors from going on strike.
It will be illegal for doctors to strike.
Quick as possible, all right? We're literally just search your pockets, search you. You've got a nice warm coat as well.
Yeah, nice warm coat, massive knife as well. Stop and search will be tripled, and
that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
She will drill for our oil and gas, go big on nuclear and scrap the carbon tax on electricity and the levy on wind and solar power, basically bringing down your energy bills. She's going to reverse Labour's farm tax and also remove business rates for high street shops. Also,
meet the jobless Phillips family, who have lived off state benefits for the last 20 years.
There's nothing to encourage me to go back to work. I'd just rather lie in bed and do nothing.
People with minor mental health problems won't be able to have benefits for life, and she'll get rid of Motability vehicles for anyone other than the really needy. Why?
We will restrict Motability vehicles to people with serious disabilities. Those cars are not for people with ADHD.
Good, otherwise I'll have a Ferrari. Oh, and this lot will be out on their backsides.
I am terrified every day. I am constantly in my overdraft. I'm always worried that one crisis is just going to leave me homeless.
Anyway, she's going to sack about a third of the civil service. And this, of course, is on top of Robert Jenrick saying this.
We will reverse the constitutional vandalism of Tony Blair and New Labour. The Lord Chancellor will once again appoint the judges, no more quangos, and they will be instructed never to permit political activists of any political hue to don the wig ever again.
Yeah, dodgy, hard left, pro-migration judges gone. So, to summarise, what the Tories want you to think is that if you would like to aspire one day to send your kids to a private school, to aspire to get a house or get a bigger house, if you want welfare cuts, if you want cheaper energy bills, if you want to leave the ECHR and have mass deportations, then they are your party. She's also made a point of mentioning the team that she has around her.
Together, we Conservatives will save Britain from that fate. And we can do it together because we are a strong team. My fantastic shadow cabinet, Mel, Chris, Claire, Laura, Rob, Andrew, both of them, James, both of them, Mims, Jessie Stewart, all of you, thank you.
Now, the reason why she's done that is because she wants to make the point that Reform does not yet have a shadow cabinet. Look, what I want to know from you is this. Are you willing to forgive the Conservatives for the absolute mess they made of Britain, or is Kemi Badenoch just shouting into the void. Let's get the thoughts of my panel. Director of Popular Conservatives, Mark Littlewood, businessman and activist Adam Brooks, and journalist Nina Mishkov. Now, I hope you don't mind, but Adam, I want to come to you first on this because I think there's a relevance here for you. I think, you know, you've obviously pretty pro-reform, right?
Yeah.
But you're the type of person that Kemi Badenoch today wanted to win back. So has that worked?
So you've got to remember, from the age of 18 to about 40, I voted Conservative. And there is no chance in hell that I would vote for them again. At the end of the day, the last sort of 7 or 8 years, they've absolutely annihilated this country with false promises and lies. They was telling us they was going to bring down immigration, and it just went through the roof. And unfortunately now, the damage is so bad and the problems we're seeing, you have to lay at the Conservative store. Now, look, if it was between Conservatives and Labour, I'd have to hold my nose and vote Conservative. But there is reform. Now, Reform have said they're going to get rid of inheritance tax. That's a great thing, because I worked my whole life to try and give my kids a better future. So that would save there. I believe Reform will probably follow suit with this stamp duty or something very similar.
I think they're going to have to, actually.
Look, so there is nothing really Kemi Badenoch can say that would get me to vote for the Conservatives. I don't believe she will be a leader in the next 6 months either. Well, so she can say what she wants, you know?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Mark. I mean, look, you know, as a new dad, I was looking at it and I was thinking, well, I would like to have the option, maybe, to send him to a private school, which with this extra 20% VAT thing is not happening. It's not happening.
Yep.
And if we were to decide to have another child, we would need a bigger flat, which at the moment, with the amount of stamp duty that we're paying on, again, could not happen. So that actually looked quite appealing, that.
Yeah, look, despite the fact that she hasn't won back Adam's support, which might take some time, Kemi has had, by far and away, her best day as Conservative Party leader, by far and away. A lot of Conservative delegates saying this was the best Tory Party leader speech since Margaret Thatcher. Oof. And if you think of all of the things that could have gone wrong at conference, people murmuring about her leadership, any sort of gaffes or mistakes or contradictions, she avoided all of those. And what she's trying to do is to position the Tory party as being on the side of aspiration, for the workers, not the shirkers. That is her pitch. And I think there's also, associated with that, there is a Conservative, maybe not strategy, but belief or hunch that over the coming year or two, the bigger and bigger focus in people's minds is going to be the economy, perhaps more so even than immigration. And if the economy becomes by far and away the number one issue, she's hoping she set out her stall to be the most credible of the party leaders, and emphatically an option on the ballot paper that will be for less spending and lower taxes. Something that Reform, I think, need to catch up with, Adam, actually have been quite spendthrift rather than promising spending reductions. Will that work? I don't know. It's a very long road back for the Conservative Party, very long road back indeed. But she's probably left Manchester today feeling that her party is united and willing to give a fair crack of the whip in the coming weeks and months.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite easy to do a better speech than what Sir Keir Starmer did, mainly because at no point in that speech did she entirely make up an interaction that she had with a random lady in Oldham that then turned out to be false. Remember when Keir Starmer said he'd been round to that lady in Oldham's house and that he'd sat down and had tea and biscuits, it was all lovely, and then it turned out that actually he'd called her a racist and she booted him out, vowing to never vote Labour again. So Kemi Badenoch didn't manage to do any of that. Do you think that people will vote for her off the back of what they've heard today?
I think she saved her own skin for the moment. I think she's had a temporary sort of, reprieve, as it were, in that, because people were saying, well, she won't be there by Christmas, come November when it's a year and then the time for the letters to go in and all of that. And I think she's got herself a temporary reprieve until the next May and the council elections. Abolishing stamp duty is a genius thing, but where she's going to find 48 billion down the back of the sofa is extraordinary.
Massive welfare cuts.
What she says is a couple of things. So drill, baby drill, so that increases the amount of money there as well. Welfare cuts, which is what you've just said there. Slashing the civil service by a third. A couple of others knocking about as well, I think.
But just as a businessman, if you create more transactions, more property transactions, people will do them up and go and spend money with builders, merchants. So you get money back that way.
We all understand that. But the thing is, she says she stands for stronger borders and a stronger economy. Now, the reason that the Tories got a kicking was because of those two things were completely destroyed. Stronger borders. Boris Johnson destroyed that, supposed to take back control, and with Brexit we then lost control of and the boat situation happened, and then with legal migration he just threw the floodgates open. So that was stronger borders and a stronger economy. I hate to say this, but Liz Truss crashed it, and so therefore, in the public's eye, the Conservatives on 14 years culminated in complete disaster, which is why we're still trying to build ourselves up from that disastrous situation.
I think you've got to try and walk a mile in somebody else's shoes. What would you do if you were Kemi Badenoch? People are sort of saying, oh well, the public aren't listening, so she's supposed to not bother delivering a speech today.
No, I'm saying she's saved her own skin today.
And she has now sketched out where the Tories got things wrong. They didn't cut spending, they didn't cut tax, they didn't control the borders, they got wedded to ECHR. That's a good start. You can't erase the past. You can only work from here.
No, I agree, but then will the public have forgiven them for that? That's the point.
Can't do anything about that.
And I could bring you on this because, as well, a businessman. So the business rates. I think what I understand. I think she's just going to scrap them. I think for you, with the energy stuff, should bring your energy bills down, which would be a good thing. So there's lots of stuff there. Is it for you? Is it that you don't?
There's a lot of things here that would make me a lot better off, or mean that I would survive as a publican, which at the moment I'd be amazed if I'm going to survive as a publican in the next sort of 6-7 years. But look, one thing I will say, it's all right making these promises, and I believe her. I do believe her. Her party will not let half of these things through the party. Let's remember, half the Conservative MPs should be Lib Dems. They're wets. At the end of the day, to try and leave the ECHR, they won't get that through the Conservative Party. We've got Robert Jenrick, who I like, Chris Philp, I like. There is a few MPs that I look and think, yeah, I like you. You're saying the right things. But that's not a whole party.
Well,
and the trust in Tory brand, for me, has gone.
No, I can understand that. A lot of voters will feel that way.
Let's not forget that we're still 4 years to go. Who knows what's going to happen? And the stamp duty thing, it's said within the first Parliament, if they got in, it's not even going to be in the first budget.
But she's been pretty strong on Adam's point. If, as a Conservative, you're not in favour of leaving the ECHR, you will not be allowed to be a Tory candidate. I mean, that is a pretty disciplinarian approach.
Yeah,
pretty
it
strong.
is. Sorry, have I missed something there? Because I was so is that right then, that the stamp duty thing is not going to be in her first budget?
They haven't made it play. It will happen at some point in the Parliament. It's also worth pointing out it's the abolition of stamp duty on your primary property. You want to buy a second, third, or fourth property, you'll still be.
I'd like to be in that position
or
to have that problem. But at the end of the day,
but it is at least. But it's not.
I speak to a lot of property experts who will not move. Or haven't moved.
So this should get the housing market going again.
It's absolutely collapsing because people do not want to spend their stamp duty on their next property.
She wants to save Britain from decline. She'll be the first Tory Prime Minister that's actually managed that in years and years and years, because they created the decline, and that's what we are trying to resolve now.
The one thing that stood out for me today when I was listening to that speech was, and I've been very critical of the Tories and everything, and obviously very critical of Labour and things, and broadly speaking in favour of a lot of the stuff that we've heard of reform recently. And I think that taps in personally, on a personal note, purely because I've just been so utterly frustrated by the two major parties historically, because they think they've got us into a bit of a mess. I did listen to that speech today, and I heard aspiration. I heard if you are thinking about maybe trying to get on a bit, whereas Labour want to, they want to tax the living daylights out of you if you want to send your kids to a private school. They're looking at clobbering you if you want to move house and all of that stuff. And I thought, I just heard that, and I thought actually that was quite optimistic, and it painted a key point of difference for me.
But one thing I will say, looking at the empty conference halls in the Tory conference, that signals what the nation is thinking right now.
It's a long road back.
No one is thinking about voting Conservative.
Let's see what happens.
It's a long road back.
Let's see what happens with these polls. And just very quickly, sorry, because I'm going to shout out here, but another thing that I know will have resonated with a lot of Conservative voters or people who are on the fence was at least her expressing a desire to get the deficit under control. Because We haven't really heard that from a lot of other people, unless I've missed it, and actually people don't want us to end up in a situation where all our debts get called in and we get turned into Venezuela. So, look, wait and see. Very keen to see what the GB News viewers and listeners think about this, because I know there's a lot of strong feeling, both negative and positive, about the Tories. Anyway,